So if you're considering a new closet system, you have three real options. You can build it yourself, you can buy a kit and install it yourself, or you can pay for a full service install. Doing it yourself makes the most sense if you want complete control over the design and build process, and you don't mind getting involved with the details. Closet kits are designed to go together quickly and easily, but then you're also locked into their layouts and their materials. A full service installation from a company like California Closets takes all of that work off your plate, but it does come with a higher price tag in exchange for that convenience. All three options work. It really comes down to how much control you want to keep, how much you want to hand off, and how that lines up with your budget. I'll walk through how to decide which option is best for you. Then I'm going to build an entranceway closet in my own home using a digital plan to guide the build from start to finish. Closets are usually built in one of two ways, either floating or standing. Floating systems are wall mounted, they use less material, they ship flat, and that's why most kit systems are floating by design. Standing cabinets put the weight on the floor, making it easier to build heavier, floor-to-ceiling cabinets that feel more substantial and truly built in. Full-service installs can go either way, with floating systems being offered as an entry option and standing systems being offered at the higher end. Most kits and many full-service systems are built around melamine-coated particle board or other engineered panels. This is because they're dimensionally stable, consistent, and cost-effective to manufacture and install at scale. When DIYing a closet, you're not locked into those materials. You can choose an engineered panel if that's the best option, or choose a plywood, control the thickness, how the edges are finished, and build a system as robust as you want it to be. For this project, I'm choosing to build it myself. I like having control over the structure, the materials, the details, and for me, this is part of the process that I enjoy. All of the design and planning for this build was handled with PlanCrafted. I used it to decide between floating versus standing, figure out a good layout, and lock in the dimensions before cutting anything. What I end up with is a solid build plan. It has cut layouts, key dimensions, and assembly diagrams, basically the instructions that I'll be working from. So real quick, I just wanted to show you how you can use PlanCrafted to come up with your own custom closet design. You can see that there's now two new designs, one for a standing closet and one for a floating closet. I'm going to pick the standing closet design. Then you hit the Customize Plan button, and this is where you can edit all your custom dimensions, options, and materials. I do need to change the width for my closet because it's only 55 inches. Once that's done, I can head over to Options. This is where you can set your priority for the different zones you want. So this is all based on preference and what kind of items you plan on storing in your closet. So I want mostly double hang. I'm going to remove long hang by setting it to 0. And for shelves, I'll set that to around 2. Drawers, I don't want any. And for shoes, I'll set that to 2 as well. So I should get like one zone of each of those. I want my cabinet backing, and we can also include shelf bins. Now, once I click done and submit, I didn't change my materials at all. So the default is to use 8-foot by 4-foot sheets of plywood, but you can change that to whatever you like. Now PlanCrafted will build you a custom design built to your specs. You can hide the props, you can also share with friends, and you can also view in augmented reality to see what it looks like in your space, which is pretty cool. That only works on mobile. But you can see that I need 4 sheets of the main material, which is a 3/4 inch plywood, and 2 sheets of the secondary material. So in Canadian dollars terms, that's roughly $292 worth of pre-finished birch plywood. Click buy this plan, print it off, and you're ready to start cutting. A track saw is my preferred tool to break down these sheets. If you don't have one, any straight edge and a circular saw will also do the trick. And you can use these methods to break down pieces into more manageable sizes and then run them through the table saw. And having extra material allows you to recover from any miscuts. If you chose to add a cabinet backing, you will have to add a dado cut. You probably want to apply some edge banding to all the front-facing edges. These are the tools that I use for edge banding: a mallet, a chisel, a fresh X-Acto knife, and an iron I picked up at the thrift store. The edge banding is pre-finished birch on one side and hot glue on the other side. First, activate the glue using the hot iron. Then you can follow up with a piece of scrap material to apply pressure. Trim the ends first using a chisel, and trim the length by sliding along your X-Acto knife, which can be oddly satisfying. I choose to put LED lighting in almost all of my built-in projects. I usually use a product which is an aluminum channel, but for this project I thought I'd try something new, which is a silicone channel which I found, and I'm going to use it to run vertical strips the entire length of the cabinet without interfering with the shelves. So I'll run a dado along the cabinet length before the cabinet is assembled. Because the side pieces are not exposed, you can just drive screws through the sides to mount all the pieces together. I'm installing these standard 1/4" shelf pins, which you can also get in 5mm. You can use a shelf pin jig to drill many holes and have your shelves be adjustable, but my preference is to just measure and drill for the holes that I need. I think this leads to a much cleaner installation, and you can always drill holes in the future if you want to move the shelves. The closet rods that I'll be using are from IKEA's standard PAX line. The cabinet base uses very simple construction. The only thing to note is that I use pocket holes on the front side so that the screw holes don't poke through the front. The other option is to just cover it with a piece of trim when you're done. All wires are hidden in routed channels that run along the top of the cabinets. Once all the cabinets are mocked up and in place, it's time to bring them inside and install them. Next, we're going to make these custom 5-sided bins from this pile of parts. I designed and 3D printed a jig to help route the handles on the front of the bins, and the file is linked in the description of this video. It's quite simple to use, but you can also get very similar results using a jigsaw. I also added some felt strips along the bottoms of the bin to reduce scratching on the cabinet shelves. The LEDs were then connected to a motion sensor, which I had already pre-wired for. The herringbone walnut doors are actually IKEA countertops, which I've repurposed and used for doors. I'll post a short video on this later. Up top is where we store all of our board games, and because the staircase wraps around, we can access the games from the back without using a step stool. Well, that pretty much wraps up this entranceway closet project. Go check out plancrafted.com and design your custom closet. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching.